Hello, everybody. My name is Christian. Happy Friday. Hope you have a nice weekend. This weekend, you have a chance, an opportunity, like I did yesterday, to see Uncharted, the film. Like 14, 15 years in the making, this movie. I am a huge fan of the games. I've been following this production since it was rumored so long ago, since Mark Wahlberg was cast as Nathan Drake. It's been so long he's graduated to Sully. And I grabbed this to preface it. This is proof. This is my PS3 copy of Uncharted 2. It was one of the first PS3 games I played after Infamous. I played the demo to death, and Uncharted 2 was the first one I played. I am a huge fan. They mean so much to me. I think it's PlayStation's best franchise. I loved the Uncharted movie. And I'm not going to get into spoilers, but I will say there are perspectives as a fan, and just like as a general movie, I think there's plenty of fun to be had with this. So as a fan, some people might have to leave a few things at the door. We'll start there. Casting, I know, is a big controversy since the movie went into production. But Nathan Drake, Tom Holland, I will admit, I love Tom Holland. I've seen him in not much else besides Spider-Man. I think he's great. He's a fantastic actor. He's awesome. I was the slightest bit worried that they'd be too different with their take on Nate than what I would have liked. But I do think making young Nate and being very clear that this is not a prequel, this is not a story that will build up to the games, this is its own thing. It is taking Nathan Drake, Victor Sullivan, Chloe Frazer, and a world of thieves and criminal underlords to tell a story about treasure hunting adventures. And that's where it is, and it's their own story with those ingredients. I think that allows them to build to something that's more familiar to us. And all that aside, I really think they capture Nathan Drake. I think Tom Holland as a young Nate is fantastic. He gets his vibe, he gets the smarminess, he gets the banter with Sully, which is very, very important to me. Even if Mark Wahlberg doing Victor Sullivan is more removed from the Victor we know than Tom Holland's Nate is. But even then, I thought Mark Wahlberg was trying something with Sully, and I was enjoying it, so I think they did a great job. The banter, I think, really solidifies it, and moving forward, I think both of them will be able to age into these roles to be a bit more familiar to us as time goes on, kind of beautifully. So the foundation of Uncharted, I think, is rock solid, which is very important. I think that's essential to what is I'm assuming going to be a franchise. They needed to nail that, and I think they did. So that, I think, again, give it a chance, fans. I think you'll be surprised, because I really loved the characters. I think Nate was great. I really enjoyed the Sully performance, even if it's different than what I'm used to. Sophia Ali as Chloe was excellent. I'm glad they didn't do Elena. I hope Elena is out of the picture for a very long time, because I want this to be an aging Nathan Drake with Victor Sullivan. Chloe pops up here and there. And we can get to Elena eventually. I'm sure they will probably want to retell the meeting of Nate and Elena in some way down the line. So that was great. Those are all super positive things. Set piece wise, fantastic. It felt fun. It felt like the Uncharted trilogy. So those are the highest praises I can give. It reminded me of The Mummy and National Treasure. Oof, I've been waiting for that. Negatives, didn't love the villains. To be fair, I'm never a big fan of the villains of Uncharted for the most part. I think Lazarevich is ridiculous, but the villains in Uncharted have never really been a standout to me. And unfortunately, Antonio Banderas, as much as I love him, did not hit as high as he could have. I really wish they gave him more to work with, because I thought he, going into this, could have been the best Uncharted villain, and I mean that honestly. Braddock, which is the leader of the militia group that you've seen in trailers, she was solid also. She was an Uncharted militia leader, so what can you expect? But villains were a bit disappointing. The music, the soundtrack, I think was really weak. The use of the Uncharted Nate's theme, specifically 3.0, it was used twice and then credits. So the two times it was used in the film I thought were effective. The first one was a fun rendition of it. The second time, when it hits, it's a good moment and it hits. So maybe in the future we can use the Uncharted theme more. Hire Greg Edmondson for the sequel. I don't know what they're doing, but man, I think they captured Uncharted. Which, listen, this could have been abysmal. This could have been real bad. Uh, Critically, it's not like a deep thing, but that was never Uncharted, you know? Before Uncharted 4 came around, Uncharted was never this gripping narrative. It was a fun story with fun characters, and that's what this is. There is a lot of Uncharted 4 in here, even though I talked about it being its own thing. It does draw inspiration from the game for some thematic things, and I get, like, they're going after a pirate treasure, and there's crosses involved. So, like, surface level, there is some Uncharted 4 in here, but the Uncharted 4 elements feel like if it was Uncharted 4's like surface level stuff in the Uncharted trilogy in a way where it's not taking itself super seriously, and I know Uncharted 4 was trying to be an ending, so it doesn't like have the luxury of just being this fun camp fest the whole time. But this movie reminded me of the Amy Hennig trilogy in a way that made my heart happy because I love the Uncharted trilogy so much, and I do love 4, but PlayStation, as a longtime fan, lately their storytelling hasn't been hitting super high for me, and this was a nice reminder. This was a reminder of why I love Uncharted, Nathan Drake, and why I love PlayStation. So on that level, I can't praise it enough. And on the level of bringing back the Pirates of the Caribbean mummy style movie, which I love and miss dearly, I can't praise it enough there either. We talked negatives. I'm really curious to hear what more fans have to say because co-host of the Joy Clicks Games cast, very good friend Kevin Diaz, also a huge fan of Uncharted. He was expecting to hate this movie, and he liked it. So I really think that fans might be surprised with this one. Just go in like not expecting a one-to-one of the games or the characters, but the atmosphere and the vibe, I really think they captured and nailed. So on that front, enjoy it, have a good time. And you might be wondering, why are you saying that it's going to get a sequel? Video game movies don't do well. I think this movie is going to do very well at the box office. And again, critic-wise, we've seen the scores. It's an average movie. It's what you expect. But the fans who love and stan Nathan Drake and these characters might create a fervor around it. I'm being honest. I think Nathan Drake could be Tom Holland's Indiana Jones to his Han Solo Spider-Man. And I think that's because of the solid foundation they have here. In the future, we're absolutely getting a sequel because, like I said, this is appealing to fans in one way, but it's also a movie that doesn't get made much anymore. Where I was at the theater with my good friend Omar Nakvi, 4 p.m. showing on a Thursday, opening day, so it's still the work day. People aren't going to be there. There were 3 other people in the theater with us. 2 of them were elderly women. And listen, I'm not going to judge. I don't know if they're massive longtime video game fans, but there are equal or more odds that they have never played Uncharted. They just saw a movie that reminded them of The Mummy or National Treasure or Indiana Jones, and they went to see it, and they showed up for it. And I think we're going to see that with whatever this does at the box office this weekend. So at the very least, I think they will get a sequel. And with a sequel, I think they will be able to take some of the fan feedback, which I think will be warranted, to give it its Uncharted 2 moment in a funny way, right? Like, I really think there's potential here with this cast and endless Uncharted movies. Well, they'll end at some point, you know, but especially if we're not going to get Nathan Drake games anymore, I'm cool if Tom Holland is the avenue to get my Uncharted fix. I think they really surprised me, and I want to see it again. I'll buy the Blu-ray. I had a great time. So let me know if you see it, what you think. If you think I'm off base, if you're a fan of the franchise, I want to know what you think specifically, because I think this movie could be either very divisive or surprisingly beloved by the fans. So if you haven't seen it yet, come back for this, because I do want to say one specific thing about the set pieces. If you don't care about spoilers, the set pieces in this are so creative and so refreshing because there is a lot of CG, but they do some bonkers stuff with it, right? Like the set pieces here were more in line with the trilogy where there's just like you're looking at it, you're like, what the hell is happening right now? Where Uncharted 4, it's like, yeah, the bell tower's cool. The Jeep is fun, I guess. And that's kind of the end of it, right? But this is super spoilers now. And it's in the trailers, but the final set piece is two helicopters that lift two pirate ships out of their cove that they're stuck in. And they're flying them off to a ship to, sell and get the cash from. And it's an airship battle. It is Nathan Drake and Sully on one ship and the villains on the other one. They're like boarding each other like pirates. They're flying through the freaking sky. I wanted to play that, and I thought in my mind I was like, man, if Uncharted 4 ended like this, oh boy, that would have been the best one. So I think I had a blast, and I want to see more of these. And I think people might be surprised. So that's all I have to say on Uncharted. Maybe we do a full spoiler talk. I'm absolutely going to be reviewing it with Kevin on the Gamescast next week. So look forward to that on podcast services. But like I said, let me know what you think. Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was an abysmal trash fire like it could have been? Because I did not. I loved it. Tom, if we can have two Obi-Wans, we can have two Nathan Drakes. That's what I'm saying. If we can have two of some of the iconic characters, we can have a video game version of Nathan Drake and a live action one. But shout out to Nolan North. And a special thanks to Amy Hennig.